Sorry to hear you're feeling under the weather. With that, then we will get started. I'm glad that I'm here to run it as well. Good evening and welcome to the SOARA Tuesday Evening Executive Net. As we said, kilo opposite 6 off of your mic, and this station will be reference for it. Prior to beginning the net, is there any emergency, priority, or echo link traffic? No emergency, priority, or echo link traffic. For that, we will now resume the net. Welcome to the SOARA Weekly Executive Net. This net is held every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. local time on the SOARA link 447.180, 224.60, and 147.645 repeaters. This net is open to all accredited services. You do not need to be a SOARA member. We welcome second and participation from the guests. For our discussion tonight, our topic is all about memorable moments in ham radio. We want to hear about one contact or experience success with you. You can finally bag your elusive UX, conclusions, unexpectedly meet someone on the air, or maybe figuring out a project that you were really working on. So just keep that in mind. Whatever your story was big or small, but you're just sharing a memorable experience in ham radio. Before we get started, do we have any announcements from the club?
86H.
Go ahead, 86H.
Just wanted to let everybody know if they had someone who wants to take the exams, there was not an exam, it will be the tech exam, although knowing maybe most people take others as well. There was no session scheduled for this month, but on the 16th, we have a correction. A session scheduled, and it's primarily for Firewatch. However, it's open to people who want to take the exam through SOARA as well. So again, if you know anybody who'd like to take the exam on that schedule, it will be the 16th of this month. It will be at the Irvine Ranch Service headquarters in Irvine. So let us know and check the fees. And I think you could probably P6 UER. You can get your pilot in. If not, check the fees. Page at SOARA.org, and I can make sure you have the direction to get there as well. So that's thanks. That's running the net. 86H over.
Thank you so much, 86H. Real quick check. Any other announcements from the club? All right. Nothing heard, not unexpected on our first Tuesday of the month. It coincides with the NB rate season, so they have a lot of our members over at that meeting. At this point, I will take seconds. I'm going to play a quick and group with 3 if you get enough to do that. So please come now with your name and call sign.
N6 is Steve. That's November 6th. Echo Clear Golf. Glenn Richard Dale.
Alpine 6 with Echo. Check-in only and yell us for courtesy check-in. Easy to season at season. All right, we're talking through that 3 call signs. So I have November 6th. Echo Clear Golf, Glenn, Alpha 6 hosts the Echo, Mike, check-in only, and then Dale, the UC, courtesy check-in. Real quick, is there anyone else out there who would like to step in with the net? Just come out with their name and call sign.
Alpha Juliet 6 Echo Echo HA16. It's Kevin over in Anaheim.
Good to follow. As we will get started with this first, if we have anyone else join us, that's free. So I have Alpha Juliet 6 Echo 7 over in Anaheim, and then November 5 Kilo Victor Bob in Florida. At the top of our list is Glenn, November 6th, Echo Clear Golf. Go ahead and put the in at the moment here. This is Kilo Opta 6 Help on your mic. So as a reminder, our topic tonight is pretty open. It's just memorable moments in ham radio. So contacts, experiences you've had, maybe projects that you've worked on that were something memorable to you. Go ahead and take it away.
I got started in ham radio without a license. I was working in the radio studios in repair shop, and I was the guy who owned it had a lot of parts laying around. So I was building transmitters with receivers, and I was on the air without a license. So the small town, dairy town, and in Johnson, and there was no help to get a license or even education how to do it. But when I came to California, I got a license. I was a novice, and I remember my first PW contact with a guy in Idaho. That was kind of memorable, talking to him on PWs. Then, of course, I'm an extra class today, And FCA, I've been around the world on the FCA. There's about 10 lot people in Russia and Indonesia. And I've had contact with Cubans, and I was surprised to see how open the Cubans are. I thought they wouldn't even have a corporate Cubans thing for it. But they got a lot of good equipment around the area, and they're very responsive. It doesn't seem like a closed society to response to those things. Anyway, that's all I have to say tonight. I'm going to take 73 and go to bed. Glenn, thank you so much for stepping in. We appreciate you joining with us. Let's hear from you again. And yeah, ham radio, I love it because it talks shorter in ways you might not expect. So it's a really cool thing. All right, we're next to Alpha Juliet 6 Echo 7.
Good evening, everybody. Cinco de Mayo and Taco Tuesday on the same day. Wow, I did go over to the Mexican restaurant the other night. Chicken burrito. Pretty good earlier. Anyways, memorable experience. I think the first memorable experience was my first contact that I had when I got my license in 2017. Because I didn't know what I was doing. Was on the WinLink system, and I talked to a guy in North Carolina. And I thought that was interesting and cool. I got all excited. Kind of, give me that dopamine hit that keeps me in the hobby. But let's see. Another one would be just talking on HF to Japan. I don't know, all the friends I've met. It's just a fun hobby. Thanks for letting me jump in and say hello, AJ60.
Thanks so much for joining us, Kevin. All right, well, toss it over to you, the November 5 Zero Victory.
Good evening, all. This is I've been a ham a while, and I've had quite a few good experiences. I think I've shared most of them before, but the one that was fascinating to me, back in the 60s, I was in the Navy, and where I was licensed to ham, and I was on a job, and we were doing operations up in the North Atlantic, and one of our radio operators was a ham radio operator. We got permission from the skipper to use the ship's equipment, and we're talking to different people around the world. So he managed to get a hold of ham in Texas, that lived near where I did. So I got to talk to my family from the North Atlantic while they were in Houston, Texas. I think that always makes it for a good story. And with that, I'll get back to Mexico.
Thank you so much, Bob. I feel like, the perfect person will come around. We share some of the same stories, but it's still always nice to hear it. I may not remember it. People might not have been on that much, so thanks for sharing that. That was an interesting one about being on the ship. Getting statistics with us, very cool. At this time, I will throw it out there and see if there's anyone else who wants to check in. Please come now with your name and call time. All right, let's pray tonight, and that's A-okay. We expect that often on our first Tuesdays. We had a couple of 7-3 some check-ins. That's all right. I'll share a brief story if that's all right. It was about after I got licensed. So I got licensed on field day in 2023, I think it was. And it was the week after that we were going camping up in the Redwoods, which is an area that still does not have good cell reception. And I brought my radio up. I actually brought a couple of radios up. I convinced my brother to get a license. He bought his car while we were on the camping trip. And my wife asked me, why'd you bring your radio? That's so silly. I've never done it before. On that trip, my hands got lost when we were hiking through the Redwoods. And they had one ranger who was out helping, and we had a bunch of my cousins and I, and we were running all around, and my brother and I had to coordinate everybody because of the distances and the difficulty in communication. So that was fun. My aunt was turned out fine. She was headed down the wrong trail and took a much bigger loop that we were certain she wouldn't do. But yeah, she turned out fine. So that's all right. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Field 7, Alpha Juliet 6 Echo.
Wow, that's all hands on deck kind of situation right there. On your first time getting a real world experience, and I'm glad your aunt was fine. That could be a bad turnout, so that's worked out well. I remember in high school we took a backpacking class in the summer, and they would take us up to the Sierras. I think my brother and I he's 2 years younger, so or 2 years older, so we had a couple of years there, the same school, and we both took the class and went to the Sierras and went backpacking for, I think, 5 nights. And the two teachers that took ham radios, but they took HPs and they were trying to see if they could reach people from up there, and they didn't have any success. But we were in two groups, so we were able to keep in touch in the two different campsites through that radio, or they did. They didn't let us off on it. You know, they like to conserve the batteries and things like that. This is 1970, 1977, 1978 maybe. And I remember these radios were pretty full. So we had a lot of fun. But anyway, not much else to report here tonight, just kind of relaxing. AJ16.
Well, thanks again for checking in and joining us on the next Southern. We'll pass it out to November 5, Kilo Clear, Bob.
This is look like KZB, rounds are very short tonight. But I do have another interesting story. This is on 79 or 80. I've been watching for a few years. And my son, I was living in Arkansas, and my son decided to go to college up in a place in Missouri. I don't remember exactly where. So we packed up my car and his car and started up there. And about halfway up, his generator broke out. This was Sunday afternoon, so you can imagine there was no service available. But I had my handy-talkie with me, and I used it to get a hold of people that were ahead of us. They all guided us to filling stations where we could spend half an hour to charge the battery, and then go on another few miles. So we managed to make it all the way to our destination with the help of ham radio operators who were kind enough to charge the battery or give us to a place that's good. Way this community gives us why. And with that, I'll give back to Rick Control by KTV.
Great, I went through, yeah, there's a lot of cool things like that, I'm sure, out there. I remember reading an article a few years ago about something similar where someone was just kind of in a bad spot. They decided to stick to the ham radios on a car frequency, I think, and someone was able to come and help them change their tire, which was cool. At this time, we will take any late sessions for the SOARA Member Net. System now is the name and call sign. There's and frequency, DC, and frequency, DC, name is Anthony, and the mobile. They haven't stopped doing so in 6 Anyone else out there? Nothing heard. Can't say if you have anything to add. Please feel free to discuss if you're busy driving. That's okay too. Our topic tonight is 6 memorable experiences in ham radio. Anything you want to share? Go ahead.
Oh, you know what? I don't. I'm going to do the second and one and done because I'm actually just been eating and it's a late dinner tonight. So I'm up there with Kevin. I'm going to go get me a big chicken burrito or something out of a Mexican restaurant. But it's good to hear everybody out there. You guys take it easy, and maybe I'll catch you guys in a little bit. I'm not sure how long you guys will be on. Anyway, 73 all the way around. Damn, pieces.
Sounds good. Have a great Cinco de Mayo and enjoy your dinner. We're pretty late tonight. We're going to batch up to the Curly top here, which is 7, and probably makes us our 7 threes. I will put one more late second at the end here. Still at 7, AJ16.
All right, Anthony, jumping in there on the river. I don't know, poker reference. I don't know why I thought of that. Good to hear everybody on. Thanks for running the net. And catch you next week. AJ16. Have a good night.
However you buy at November 5, we'll do a little church.
And because I KTV, and I also appreciate the letter of that. Next time we'll have more people. So have a good evening. KTV clear.
So, Matthew, so I'll be free as you both. I'm going to share one more quick story here, and then I'll take any late check-in. This is just really one of the opportunity to use your radio and say hello. If you have something to share, great, but I like these nets because they give me an excuse. I actually have to drive over to the neighborhood next door to me as a generation in Viejo. And I live right next to a hill, so I have to move just over about a 3-5 minute drive to get up on this one so I can run the net. But I enjoy it. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So this story was also, actually before I was licensed, I shouldn't broadcast, I promise. I didn't transmit it all. I was driving on the Alaska highway, driving a friend in their car down. And there's a stretch up there in the Yukon that has absolutely nothing, no service, very little civilization, nothing in the middle of nowhere. They have a really cool ham radio group up there called SOARA, Yukon Amateur Radio Association. And they have determined the spots that they can put their repeaters to make sure the entire area there is covered by ham radio. They have a couple of lake repeaters, some of them aren't. So that was pretty cool. I just had a little handy talkie and had one of those tiny mag mount antennas that went up on the roof of the car, and I just listened. I heard some traffic. It was my first experience being kind of out in the wild there and picking up traffic. It was really cool. Unfortunately, my driving companion opened the door too quickly and tore that antenna. Luckily, it was about a $10 or $20 antenna, so not too big of a deal. And now I have better equipment, so I'm still with my wiring. All right, thank you again, everyone who joined. At this time, I will take any absolute race check-in. Please come now with your name and call sign. All right, well, nothing heard out here. Thank you, everyone who joined the net, and anyone else who's out there, please feel free to join us again. This net is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Appreciate you, and 7 frees all around. This is 4:06 a.m., and we will now return the repeaters back to normal operations. Good night.